Look at the abundance. So I've been out to all three of my gardens today, and I've been picking and picking. I picked some red Russian kale. This is just three big leaves, three giant leaves. It's been raining so much that they just can't help but grow gigantic. And this is some basil I picked. I guess this is one of the first things I picked today. But I'm going to put this to dry, so it's okay that it's wilted. And I got all these peppers. And a nice cabbage that I got from 4th Street from the community garden. This is Early Jersey Wakefield, so it's kind of got a little bit of a pointy tip. But I think that because of the rain it kind of busted open at the top, so I definitely needed to pick that. And let's see, so then here I have some tomatoes. This is what I call Black Russian. I don't think that's what it is, but that's what I call it. This is Rutgers. This is Japanese tree fillet. It's a nice, this is a delicious tomato. I don't go a year anymore without growing these. And this is I don't remember what variety of pickle and cucumber this is. Got this from across the street at Eddie's Garden. And I'm not sure what this is. I think this is Eldorado or Eldorado. I don't know. Eldorado. It's the first time I'm growing that. And then I got some onions. These are the last two, I think. But they're like the biggest. I could have maybe let this one go a little longer because the stem hadn't actually bent, but I was just tired of waiting for it. This one was bent. It's nice and big. This is like probably the biggest onion I've ever grown. Anyway, I wanted to make this a video about a tag. I was tagged by Bill's Allotment, 2 Plots of Heaven, his garden that he tends with his wife Val. And anyway, so they tagged me this garden tag. I think I've been tagged before with these same questions. I'm not really sure. I can't remember exactly, but it's just 3 questions. So I'm gonna do the best that I can. So anyway, I think the first question is why do you garden? Why do you garden? So the reason I garden is because I kind of feel it was like a little bit of a dysfunctional reason, because my mother used to garden when we lived in Panama, the country that I'm from, and she decided when we came here that she basically had it. She didn't want to do any more gardening. We lived in the city. You know, it was kind of exasperating to her that we had to move in the first place, and then there's really no place to grow anything, at least in her estimation. But in my estimation, I'm the kind of person that sees possibilities where most people refuse to see possibilities. So, you know, I begged my mother to buy some seeds from Burpee. There was like an offer in the back of a cereal box, and I said to my mom, can we order these seeds? There was like a bunch of like starter things, tomatoes, peppers, what else is in there? There was definitely zinnias and marigolds, and I don't remember what else. That might have been it. Maybe cabbage, I don't know. Anyway, so I had, you know, those like maybe 4 or 5 different things that I started from seed. You know, I decided that I was going to plant them on the side of the house. There's like a garage, and there's like a driveway, and then there was actually the side of the neighbor's house. So anyway, so I decided I would go over there, plant my little tomatoes and whatnot, and then I planted the marigolds and the zinnias in the front of the house. And I'll never forget it. There was this lady that was walking down the street. I guess she was just walking down the street being nosy, and she said something like, you know, don't plant that stuff there. No, you know, that stuff is gonna get pissed on by the dogs. Everybody's gonna destroy it. It's gonna get ruined. She didn't say those many words, something along those lines. Basically, she was discouraging me from doing any kind of gardening, which I thought was rude, and it really was rude. And of course, that kind of steeled my resolve to have a successful garden, and it did. It succeeded. I had plenty of tomatoes. You know, we ate like the most delicious tomatoes ever. That was like when I first learned that homegrown tomatoes are nothing like the stuff you get at the store, that cardboard junk that, you know, it used to come in like 3 packs inside of a little cage thing, and they were like a pinky orange. They weren't red, and they were hard. So that was nothing like what came out of my garden. The tomatoes that I grew were soft, they were sweet, they had flavor, incomparable to anything that you could get at the store. So I was hooked, needless to say. And anyway, so I was 11 years old at the time, so that's how I started. And so that, I guess that kind of brings me to the question of how long have I been gardening. So my math is not necessarily the best, but I guess since I was 11 and I'm now 50, I'm going on 51 this year. That's like almost 40 years. So yeah, gosh, that's been a long time. So anyway, but I've been enjoying every minute of it. I love pouring through garden catalogs and you know, just you know, reading about gardening, reading in magazines, organic gardening. I used to subscribe when I was in college to this magazine called Smith. It's like the most amazing magazine. It's about country living. But that publication is no longer in circulation. Anyway, so what's the other question? Oh, why do you YouTube? Well, I YouTube because I don't know. I think that initially I decided that I was gonna YouTube because I liked the idea that maybe I could just make a few videos and maybe get paid. I think that may have been my initial motivation. And of course, you know, the idea that, you know, there's people out there that maybe could use, you know, some of my garden knowledge, you know. I really wasn't thinking about that so much though, but eventually, I guess, as people subscribed and communicated through comments and whatever, I did understand that people do want to understand, you know, maybe they don't know how to garden, they've never gardened before, maybe they wish to have a garden, and, you know, I love the idea that, you know, I can be in a video just, you know, digging up some potatoes or cutting some flowers or just planting some flowers or picking some fruits, and people can see that it's really not so difficult or complicated. It's a very lovely thing to do. It's a great way to pass your time, and, you know, it yields you amazing, nutritious food that's organic and that, you know, different varieties that you can't find in the store, different types of plants that you've never even seen before. You know, you see it in the catalog and you say, oh, maybe I'd like to try that. You grow it and you think it's amazing, or maybe you don't think it's so great, but it was fun to try anyway. anyway, I just like sharing all that stuff. I love the community of gardeners that I have become a part of on YouTube, and I enjoy, you know, going back and forth. You know, one person has an idea, maybe you try it out and see how it turns out, and then we report on our different results or whatever. I really think that's a lot of fun. It adds a different level of enjoyment to my gardening, which is pretty up there, pretty high up there. So, you know, to add more to that is like fantastic. So I really appreciate that. And you know, I just can't say enough about the community of gardeners that I have become part of through YouTube. And by the way, I wanted to thank everybody who subscribed. I have 500 subscribers now, and you know, I mean, 500 subscribers is fantastic. I never thought that I would get this far so soon. I think I've been on YouTube since 2016. I've been on it, I think, since 2011, but I haven't really been making videos until 2016. So anyway, or is it 2015? I think it was 2015. Anyway, so anyway, 500 subscribers is astronomically fantastic. And I wasn't even looking, I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at my comments, and Jamaica Girl 123 congratulated me on my 500 subscribers, and I thought, what? Really? Has it happened already? Because I've been hovering at 400 and whatever forever, and it just seemed like it was never going to happen. So anyway, thank you again. Thanks everybody out there who subscribed recently. Thanks to all the people that have been with me forever, since whenever, and the people that it seems like, you know, we're always like, if they put out a video, we're watching it immediately as soon as it comes out. You know, I think of Debi Jones 03. I'm sorry, is that it? I think that's right. And Miss Linda from the New Orleans Gardener. Hold on. Okay, if it's not one thing, it's another. Now there's a train going by. So yeah, Miss Linda from New Orleans Gardener. She's in New Orleans, in Louisiana, and she puts out really interesting videos. Just a very sweet lady. And you know, there's always something going on in her garden. I love watching videos from people that have the ability to grow stuff year-round, which is amazing. You know, I wish I could do that. Although, in some ways, I don't wish that, because if I didn't have a New Jersey climate, then I wouldn't be able to grow certain things that I love to grow. But at the same time, you know, if I lived like somewhere in California or Louisiana or Florida, then I could grow, you know, I could grow bananas, and I could grow pigeon peas and sorrel, hibiscus, orange trees, all kinds of cool things like that, which I do grow, but it's just not the same. Whatever. Anyway, so, you know, so yeah, like, people like Sapper Gardener, Rob, hi Rob, and, Little Bean's Garden, hi Sule, I'm sorry, not Zule, that's Sule, she's, Mexican-American, I believe, and there's people like, who else, whatever, Bebette's in the garden, you know, anytime she puts out a video, I gotta watch it. I mean, she's got like a tiny, tiny little garden. I think it's like 11 by 14 or something feet. I think it's 14 feet by something, equally small. very tiny. And it's just amazing how many things she's got going on in her garden. You would think she's got like half an acre, but it's just a tiny space. It's really cool what you can do with a camera, I guess. But anyway, so that kind of brings me, since I'm over here doing shout-outs, to nominating folks to do this tag next. So I have been watching recently videos by a fellow named Gian from the channel Gian meets Gaia, and he's got a lot of cool things going on on his property. I think it's actually his in-laws own the property, but he's got a lot of space to work with, which is so cool. I wish I had that much space to garden on and, you know, work with and have animals and whatever. But anyway, so I nominate Gian meets Gaia channel, and I nominate Celeste Nest, and I nominate MsLallie. I think those two ladies are in the South. I'm pretty sure MsLallie is in Virginia. I can't be sure. I can't remember exactly. She's got a lot of cool things going on in her garden. So that's it. I mean, if you want to do it, that's cool. I would love to see your answers to these questions. If you don't want to do it, then that's okay too. No pressure. But again, it would be fun. We would like to see what you have to say and what you're all about. So, thanks for watching.